Hello and welcome to Find Out Nation. I'm your host, Jamie.
I'm your host, Nicole.
And we are here to talk about week two. What's
Week
two and a half weeks since the election?
Yeah, since the election. Yeah.
It's been a wild ride.
Girl, it's been a wild day. It's been today the shit has unfurled.
Yeah. Okay. What do you want to talk about first? So here's what's on my list.
Okay.
The Trump cabinet picks. Mm-hmm. The Trump cabinet picks in my mind are like, holy fucking shit. Are you kidding me? This is exactly.
One is worse than the other and we're just stacking.
Right. And so this is exactly like when we say we're fucking around and now we're finding out, this is what we mean.
Yeah.
So definitely the Trump cabinet picks.
Yeah.
I do still have like some feelings now on the Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want to Jon Stewart.
Pundits.
Right. So Jon Stewart had an episode this week that I watched that I like, did that hit home? And I shared it with you already. We watched it. Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about that.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to plug in my fan. I'm having an old lady hot flash in the middle of our podcast. I'm so sorry. Please hold. I'm just going to turn my fan on. It's fine. It's because I shut this door. Says the husband's home and I don't want him to distract me. And like, okay. And we're fine. Yes.
We're fine. Yeah. And then of course I have an anecdote that is Missouri, where we are from, that I wanted to share with everyone, but I want to make sure that we have enough time. So let's start with Trump cabinet picks. Okay.
Which ones? You want to talk about the ones that have to be confirmed, or you want to talk about the ones that don't? My notes are mainly on the ones that are Senate confirmed.
So which one do you think is the craziest?
Girl. I mean, okay. Which just balls out crazy? We're talking just balls out crazy.
Balls out crazy.
RFK Jr.
Okay. So I can't decide. Right. So I can't decide if it's RFK Jr. Or if it's Dr. Oz. And I got to be honest, when Dr. Oz got appointed in charge of Medicare and Medicaid, I actually was like, okay, so you poor motherfuckers are on Medicaid. You're about to find out because he wants to privatize all of that. Like
all of it. And what else keep talking. I'm just trying to find Oz on here. Yeah.
So that's the one to me, like the two of those are like, oh my God. Like,
and the fact that RFK Jr. will be his boss is even better.
Exactly.
And at what point do we hire Dr. Phil?
I know. Like,
I mean, if we're just going to be
of human emotions, like,
right. We'll make up something for him and Ramaswamy and Elon. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So you said Elon and Ramaswamy. This one hurts because in all fairness, like a lot of my job is like finding efficiencies, finding ways to automate things and make things more efficient. And so if someone was going to create a like office of efficiency, I'm just so pissed that it had to be Trump and it had to be led by Elon and Ramaswamy because I got to be honest, like, if I were to ever want a job in the federal government, that's the thing
that's what you'd want to do.
Yes, that's the thing that I would want to do. To what, $1 trillion Elon thinks he's going to be able to cut? Where is he cutting those? Like, where do you think he's fucking going to cut that shit? It's going to be all the programs. Yeah, so they were talking 100%. About,
anything that doesn't benefit his company is getting axed 100%.
Of course. Yeah. And so all these social programs, because the fact of the matter is, like, even if you were to, I was watching something and they said, even if you were to fire every single person in the federal government, that is something like $50 million. Like that doesn't even get close.
It's a drop in the bucket.
A drop in the bucket of what is actually spent. And so like, this is when we talk about fuck around and find out, this is another one of those things that I'm like, ooh.
And this is the reason, right, that he has done what he's done for Trump this time around, because the man has taken so much money from the federal government, from NASA for his companies. And that I think I read today that it was something like 2017, 2020 before he paid back all the federal money that he borrowed.
Oh God.
And started actually like making money. Yeah. It's in one of my Substack newsletters that I got today that I'm like, this shit is wild. And where the hell is JD Vance? Because I'm pretty sure Elon at this point is just our vice president.
I kind of believe that too. I'm also interested to see how senior Republicans respond to whatever's going to happen with their programs. We already know Dr. Oz again wants to privatize Medicaid.
Yep.
So, and Medicare. So
same thing with Medicare. Yeah.
That's right. And so like, they're going to feel it there. There are other social programs. A lot of our social programs are out there specifically for seniors.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's going to happen? I'm just
Social Security.
Social Security
is going to get
my
rocked.
number one concern. So, you know, you pay into Social Security your whole fucking life.
It's federally protected for a reason.
And it's supposed to be, but now they run everything. So who knows what's going to happen? Like who knows what's going to happen? Okay. Yeah. The next one on my list is the Department of Education.
What do you mean? Okay. Hold on. Miss Voucher Princess.
Yes.
But did you hear the latest today?
No, I haven't.
Because now her place in the Department of Education might be in jeopardy as well.
Oh.
Because her and hubby Vince are in the middle of a sexual assault court case.
No, they are not.
Because there are allegations, there are grown men that have come forward that when they were minors, ring boys for the WWE, they were sexually abused, and she knew it, and her husband knew it, and they covered it up.
Oh, God.
So now she may be in jeopardy.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But I mean, she lied about her. I thought I was a teacher. What do you mean? Like, that's my thing. Like, you had to step away. She served on the Connecticut Board of Education for 1 year and had to step away because she wrote on her application that she had a degree in education and lied. Because she did 1 semester of student teaching. Bitch, are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
No one on the planet thinks that makes you a teacher. You know you weren't a teacher.
You knew you weren't a teacher. Like, you're not stupid. And if you are that stupid, the one thing I don't want you running is the Department of Education.
Thank you.
Right. And so the Linda McMahon that one was a surprise. And Mark's like, he was real excited that wrestling was going to be part of the curriculum. Like, he's like,
wrestling?
Michelle Obama saving like our kids' lunches and working out. No, it's going to be wrestling. That's going to save our children.
You take a folded chair.
Indeed.
And whip somebody's ass in the ring with it.
That's right. Like, we will be able to keep the kids entertained. And that's going to be their physical education is going to be wrestling. I have like a hair right in front of me. And so it's just driving me crazy. I apologize.
No, it's
okay. Do we want to talk about the other big news today?
Of course we do. And then we have another shocking thing that you probably haven't heard about either for one of his picks.
I haven't listened to any news today. The only thing I heard was our former next Attorney General, Mr. Gates. Today having him drop out. So you've heard the rumors that like hackers found the testimony. They were going to release it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I fully believe that is what they are. The reason why he dropped out is because he was like, I don't want that released.
He knows it's coming out.
He was clearly terrified of it.
Yeah.
So I am positive that is why he withdrew. Like, I don't think, right. I don't think that the Republican Party or Trump was like, this is going to be hard for us to figure out. So maybe you should withdraw. No.
The
I
votes
think it was,
aren't there.
Right.
Like, Trump's not above
I don't
doing
think
the recess appointments. Yeah.
Right.
100%.
Exactly correct. Okay. So what's the other news?
So Mr. Hegseth.
Yes.
Also has sexual assault claims on him. No charges ever formally, like, obviously didn't go to trial because he paid her an undisclosed sum of money and she signed an NDA to not ruin his career over it.
So
now he might be in jeopardy as well. And I'm like, okay, MAGA, like, at what point do you follow the dotted lines that your new president found liable for sexual assault? Yes. And so far, I mean, every single person he's nominated for their positions 99% of them are unqualified to run the departments that they're going to be in charge of. And now we've got all of these sexual assault claims.
So that's my thing, is that like the number of sexual assault claims, and, you know, I've got to wonder if, you know, the Me Too movement, you know, one of the things that they have really complained about is this woke, like, Democrats are so woke. We're going to screw wokeness, woke. Okay. But the Me Too movement there's a reason why they're so pissed about wokeness. It's because the Me Too movement is
finding it. Yeah.
That's right. They're finding it.
They're being exposed.
Exactly correct. Like, thank goodness that we have like wised up and realized that, okay, we need to start. And, you know, it astounds me. I'll be honest. Like, I knew a family in high school where there was sexual assault. There was blatant sexual assault, and the family, to your point, just like covered it up. And that person, I still to this day, like, is, whatever. And that's crazy to me. Okay. No. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State.
Little Marco. Welcome to the big leagues, little Marco.
Indeed. Let's see what happens. Okay. Tom.
Kristi Noem.
Yes. So the border czar. Tom.
Yeah. Good old Tom. Yeah.
So they interviewed him and asked him, what's he going to be like on his first day? And he said, shock and awe. It's going to be shock and awe. Here's my thought on this. So there were some interviews that were happening. So this week I think it was on Pod Save America, that they had Ezra Klein on. And I think it was him that made a comment about this, but I could be getting that wrong. I'm trying to cite my sources like a good little English student, but I'm struggling. So I should have done a better job. I apologize. I'll get better. It's fine. I think that he was the one that was talking about how, you know, the number of illegal immigrants that have been interviewed and have gone through polling, that all of them believe that they're not going to get deported because they're here to work. So like, they're going to be here to work. And I was talking to my mom about this yesterday, and she's like, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to stock up on fresh fruits and vegetables. And a lot of her like little volunteer ladies, because she's an old lady volunteer, are like, why? And she's like, because there's not going to be any workers. If it really is shock and awe, there's not going to be any workers to like pick vegetables.
Who's picking your strawberries for $3 an hour, Barbara?
That's right. That's exactly,
because it's not going to be an American citizen who's going to demand $15 an hour and work breaks out of the sun and all of the things that we as Americans are entitled to. And the corporations that are using those migrant workers and abusing those migrant workers, that's exactly why they're doing it.
That's
why I've always said, like, they fall for these tropes of these Mexicans are taking my job. They're literally not, because you wouldn't work under the conditions that these migrant workers are working under. And don't be mad at them. How about you be mad at the CEOs and the corporations that are exploiting them and are willing to work them like fucking dogs? Yeah. Because they know there's a reason that they're choosing not to hire an American worker with true I-9 access. Is because they have to follow all of the protections that gives them.
That's right.
Pay them. Yeah.
Yes. So I feel like that one's going to be an interesting, like, again, fuck around and find out, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll 100%. See what happens there.
Yeah.
Okay. What have oh God. Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
I know.
Did you know, I didn't know this, that her father also switched party platforms when I think he was a senator, but he went from Republican to Democratic, where she went the opposite.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't know that about her until I was looking it up. Yeah. I thought that was super interesting too.
Yeah. So all of those are quite interesting. Who else do you have on your list?
I mean, I kind of did a small deep dive. I mean, I did a much bigger deep dive on like Crazy Pants, RFK Jr. and all of them. But
because RFK Jr., like, I mean, that one was to me the craziest. That one was the craziest.
HIV doesn't cause AIDS,
right? Well, and have you seen
chemtrails?
Have you seen the meme that's come out of like him talking about the terrible diet and all against?
Oh yeah, he's going to get rid of the GLP-1 drugs and all that. Yeah,
but then he sat down with Donald Trump, and of course, like, is eating McDonald's. I'm like, okay, you fucker.
So, and here's my thing, right? Like nothing like, so here's the other reason why I'm like, where's Vance? Because that picture gets taken. First of all, Mike Johnson is standing over their shoulder, like, please let me be at the cool kids table, like the fucking chump that he is. And then it looks like it's nothing but a frat party where they're hazing RFK Jr. because they're like, hold up this fucking Big Mac, you son of a bitch, because now I'm your daddy. Like that's how this is working.
So you got to do what I do.
And I'm like, you're not getting rid of the GLP-1 drugs, because guess who voted you into the White House are all of these white suburban women on their GLP-1 drugs. Like,
yes,
you're not about to take that shit away from them.
That's right.
There's no way.
Well, and I have a friend who I was talking to about this, and he's like, there are things that RFK brings up that always like, it is
like, yes.
Okay, and I get it. Like we saw Big Pharma and like the craziness of the food and drug. So I get it. I understand what his appeal is to some people, but at the end of the day, he's so batshit crazy that it totally takes away all respectability and credence.
All of his credibility.
That's right. All of his credibility is out the fucking window.
I mean, he's an environmental lawyer. He's an environmental lawyer, folks. Like, let's wrestle with that. And the man believes in chemtrails.
That's right.
From commercial airplanes. Right.
But believes that vaccines are bad.
Yes. He believes that COVID, because this absolutely sent me over the edge when I read it about how he believes that COVID was targeted to attach specifically to white and black people, and the people who are the most immune from it are Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese.
Interesting.
Like, what?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I cannot take seriously anyone who had a dead worm eat his brain, a portion of his brain, and died in his brain.
Yeah.
They thought he was so jacked up. They thought he had a brain tumor until they started doing scans, and they're like, oh, look, it's a dead parasite up in there.
Yeah.
The man's also had massive amounts of mercury poisoning.
So do you
not working with the full stack?
No. But do you think there are Trumpers out there that are like, ooh, that was a bad choice? Do you think that, or do you think they're all like, yep, great choice, I love it?
Oh, I don't know. I would love to think that there are some of them that are like, oh my God, how do we pump the brakes on this runaway bus?
Right.
But it's too late for that.
Of course it is.
And I think there are some that are just like, whatever Daddy Trump wants, Daddy Trump gets, until they're in place and it starts affecting them and they can't get their medications because Junior has decided you don't need it.
We're going to get rid of the FDA entirely. Right.
Right. I watched an interview with him yesterday where he said, in regards to the GLP-1 drugs, that we're all just a bunch of drug addicts, that's the reason why, GLP-1 meds are being sold to the American public because we're so stupid and so addicted to drugs, and also falsely claim that drugs are not being marketed in Europe and are currently being investigated for causing suicidal ideation, all of which is untrue. And he said, the way to cure obesity in the United States is to get fresh, healthy food to every man, woman, and child, enough that they can eat 3 meals a day of it, and we would cure the obesity epidemic overnight. Bitch, who's paying for that? Who's paying for that, bitch? Because you want to gut the SNAP program.
And who's going to work to like pick and create fresh, healthy food, because you are also deporting everybody that actually wants to do that job.
Who can afford a $30 vat of strawberries?
That's right. So your plan is super great. I love this journey for you.
Sounds super progressive of you.
Right.
Not sure how you're going to accomplish that when that's the whole reason we have the SNAP program for poor kids, is so that they can get a fucking banana on their goddamn dinner table.
That's right. But we're pretty sure that probably Medicare, Medicaid, and SNAP programs, all of those things are going to get eliminated.
It's all in Project 2025.
By the Department of Efficiency. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's all getting cut.
Oh, fun times. Okay. So those were my craziest Trump picks. RFK Jr. definitely. The fact that he's missing a portion of his brain is the thing that I'm like, ooh, That was a good one. But I gotta say, Nicole, I'm almost excited. You know, when he first started, I had some hope that he wasn't going to be as crazy as he was. Coming into this, I'm like, oh, he's going to be crazy. And now I'm like, it's crazy. Like, it's on, right?
This is a damn clown
Dr.
show.
Oz, RFK, Vince McMahon's wife. Yes, I love it.
It could not. Sean Duffy.
Yes.
From Road Rules.
Okay.
Or from Real World. Like
Real World.
It could not be any.
I love it. I love it. This is what you voted for. Chaos.
Yeah.
I was expecting, and I love that we're bringing the energy. Yeah. I mean, it's great.
Yeah. I'm glad that Stephen Miller's not going to be the only neo-Nazi that he appoints. Like, and this is where I'm going to spend the next 4 years going, not my president. I didn't vote for him. Just like these motherfuckers did during Obama's presidency.
That's exactly right.
Not my president. I didn't vote for him.
Don't get mad at me. I didn't vote for him. That's exactly right.
Yep.
The other thing that I heard were that Muslims who overwhelmingly voted for Trump in swing states are now concerned with how many pro-Israel cabinet picks that Trump has introduced, and that they're like expressing some dismay about that there are so many pro-Israel cabinets. And I'm like,
why are you voting for him if you're Muslim?
I don't know.
Why are you voting against your own self-interests? I don't understand. I don't understand it.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why anybody votes for Trump. I mean, at this point, I really don't. But whatever. Yeah. So okay, it is what it is. Yep. U.S. Muslim leaders. This is in Reuters. See, look at me sourcing. U.S. Muslim leaders who supported Republican Donald Trump to protest against the Biden administration's support for the Israel war in Gaza have been deeply disappointed by his cabinet picks, they tell Reuters. He says, I'm not going to read this whole article, but I was like, okay, well, you fucked around. Now you're going to find out. Like, love this. Love this.
Those of us that didn't fuck around are also going to be finding out shoulder to shoulder with you. And that sucks for us too. It does. If you think that it gets you any kind of sympathy from me, it doesn't. Because the first time you start to complain, the first thing I'm going to say to you is, tell me who you voted for.
That's exactly
I'll have this conversation with you, but I need to know who you voted for first so that I know what kind of conversation we're about to fucking have.
Yes.
Because this is bananas. You don't get to complain now after you check that fucking box.
That's right. So speaking of fucking around and finding out, Mark told me an anecdote that happened here. So Missouri, I guess, local lawmakers are trying to push through a bill that subsidizes farmers. And of course, we know that one of the big comments that we heard over and over and over again of people voting for Trump and for the Republican Party is because of inflation, because of high prices. Of course, one of the best ways that you can fight high prices is subsidizing farmers. Like, farmers make all of our food, fucking pay them money, and they won't charge an arm and a leg. That's the whole point, right? So they were trying to put through a very quick bill to get approved to have a new subsidized program with Missouri farmers. And every GOP member in the state, I think it was the state house, voted against it. And he was at work where, despite being very, they are all union, they're all fucking Trumpers, all of them. Well, there's like a handful that are not, but most of them are Trumpers. They were just in shock.
Stunned?
They were shocked.
How could this happen?
Why would the GOP lawmakers not? Because they only want to subsidize big corporations like Elon Musk. Like that's
because that's who their donors are.
That's who their donors are. That's exactly right. Not only that's who their donors are, now that's who their fucking cabinet picks are. Mm-hmm. Like Elon Musk is in his cabinet. He's working with them. So sorry, but this
is welcome to Trump 2.0. That's what this is.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So that was my anecdote about Missouri that I thought you would find enjoyable. I was cracking up over it, but I was like, oh, it's a good example of you fucked around. Now you're finding out.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the other thing that I wanted to talk about. So The Daily Show had a really good segment this week about exploiting the loopholes that Democrats have resoundingly not exploited, loopholes that the Republicans have exploited for years. And they keep winning and they keep being successful and nobody calls them out on it. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I thought about was like when Biden or when the Supreme Court basically overturned Roe versus Wade, AOC talked
whoa. They just turned it back to the states. I'm going to need you to calm down with your inflammatory language.
Indeed. You're true. You know, you're not wrong. And I will say that the one benefit there is that now Missouri, because before Missouri had the abortion ban, the total abortion ban. And because they went so hard to bring it back to the states, Missouri actually overturned their abortion ban, which I was like, okay, good for Missouri.
They're trying to overturn what we voted for at the state level.
I'm so surprised. I'm so surprised.
Yeah.
But regardless, you know, the thing is, like, at the time it was, you know, Joe Biden needs to use his executive order to add now extra Supreme Court justices to give us the right, you know, whatever.
The right balance. The ERA, because we still haven't passed the ERA. Like they were pushing for all that stuff. Yeah.
Hello. AOC talked about, I'm going to impeach these people who lied, who said that they weren't going to vote for this, and now they did. Like everyone talks this big game, but nobody's doing anything. Nobody is actually, whereas Mitch McConnell, as much as I hate the motherfucker, had giant balls.
He was like, I'm going to ramrod it through and you try and stop me.
That's exactly right. And he was successful and it worked constantly. It worked constantly.
Because the Democrats are always trying to do things by the book. Fuck the book. The book's on fire. It doesn't matter anymore.
Right. And like, so that's my thing of where I know Democrats are, in general, I don't think of them as stupid people. I really don't think of them as stupid people as a Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Is there some like leader of the Democratic Party behind the scenes telling them, don't do this, don't do this? Like what are we thinking? Because at the end of the fucking day, like you have the opportunity to actually do some things right now. Biden is still president. We know that like there are opportunities to do things right now and we're like giving up. In fact, the Daily Show showed a picture of, or was it Seth Meyers? One of them showed a picture, Joe Biden's in like some jungle somewhere. Gave a speech,
was on the Daily Show.
And then walked into the woods.
Yeah. Like,
I died. What is he doing?
Like,
I died. I was like,
this is not the East Room. Like, what are you doing?
Yes.
Like, well, and so my thoughts on it, to answer your question, are that I think, and maybe I'm going to give too much credit and I'm totally talking out of my ass and it's strictly opinion, but I think our younger elected officials in the Democratic Party are Jasmine Crockett's, who, oh my God, I love her. And AOC, some of those younger ones, I think that if they had the ability, they would be ramrodding the shit through too. I do think that it is the older Democrats, the more tenured Democrats that are continuing to pump the brakes, that are continuing to be outraged in front of the cameras, and then continue to tout the line of, we have to be better than that. We have to hold, ourselves accountable to following the rules, to following the thing. It's not getting us anywhere, folks.
That's
not getting us anywhere.
That's right.
So, at what point do we go lower? Because they have no problem doing it. So can we just go lower and have it benefit the American people?
Right. Well, because to your point, there, in my mind, the bar, like there used to be a bar, right? We talked about this last week. There used to be like a bar that was set, okay, this is, we're trying to maintain whatever in American politics. And I feel like that bar is gone. Like that does not exist anymore. There is, you're not. So I liken this to people who have natural childbirth. If you want to have natural childbirth, that's fine, but you don't win a medal.
For being in the most pain.
Right. For feeling pain. So if you just like think that this is, something, so same thing, like, you're not winning anything because you aren't exploiting the loopholes that exist that you can take advantage of, that they have no problem taking advantage of. So at the end of the day, like, do you think like they incited an insurrection? They were treasonous. They tried to overturn a fucking election. So, and they didn't get in trouble. Like a few of them got in trouble, but most of them did not get in trouble. And our lawmakers, for fuck's sake, for sure did not get in trouble for it.
Who tried to overturn didn't want the votes to be counted.
That's right.
There were no repercussions for that.
That's right.
What are we doing?
That's exactly right. Like, why in the world at this point, like, are we not doing what we need to do to try and right?
Had that shit happened in 2000 over the hanging Chad controversy in Florida, if the Democrats had tried, I mean, either party, it wouldn't have mattered. If either party had tried that exact same shit in 2000, there would have been a mass amount of them immediately not in their seats. Like they just wouldn't have been allowed to continue to be in their elected position because it was so below the amount of decorum that was expected of an elected official.
Yep.
And so the fact that this is where we've gone in 20 years, what in the fuck?
Yep. I know. And Jon Stewart's comment that Republicans are playing chess and the Democrats are in the nurse's studio because they glued their balls to their thigh. I was like, that's 100% how I feel. That's 100% how I feel. And I've gotten so disenfranchised by my party because of those kinds of things. And it infuriates me because, I mean, we're
still a two-party system. There's nowhere else to vote.
That's right. You're making me look bad. Like I want to be passionate. I want to love my party. I'm very passionate about all of the things that my party believes in. So to feel like it's just being a pussy is what's causing us to lose elections and to always be the fucking loser. Like it's literally like Lucy and Charlie Brown. I mean, it's literally like that kind of relationship where we're always the losers. We're always the fucking losers. And when we do win, it's shocking. It's absolutely fucking shocking when that happens, right?
Yeah, because truly, I feel like we should not ever lose elections because we are supposed to be the champions of the social programs that actually help people that need it the most. Yep. There is no reason on the planet that the Democrats should ever lose elections just based on that.
Well,
so the fact that...
Right. Because to your point, we know overwhelmingly people support... the majority of people support most of the social programs. So this is the other thing that I'm like interested in, and maybe we can get into this next week, but it feels like there's very much social, you have your social and then you have like your economic and then you have your military. Like those are the three giant, impactful forces on when you're doing what you're doing, who you're voting for, who you're electing, who you're supporting. It's really like, and I get for Democrats, like the hard part is that almost everyone agrees with most of the social, like abortion is definitely a divisive issue, but most people are pro-choice. Most people are pro-choice. Right. We see that in the fact that Missouri just overturned their abortion ban. Right. So did Arizona. And I think one other state just overturned their abortion ban. So like we see it, we know most people are for gay rights. Like we hear that, most people want to save the environment. Like most people, right? The big social justice causes, equal rights for gay people, equal rights for Black people, equal rights for all color, whatever, races, genders, like those are all supported. So if that is what it is, then we need to be focusing on the other things. If that's where we think that's what's driving people to vote for other places. And the fact that we have not figured that out just pisses me off.
I know. And it also pisses me off, which maybe we don't have time to get into this today either, but I am livid at the pundits that have gone to kiss the ring.
Oh, God.
And done so without cameras on. And then you want to come back on your show and talk about how you were only there for 90 minutes.
Yep.
And we let him know exactly how we felt about it. Like, I'm just going to have to say that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that this entire time you've talked about the threat that he is. You've talked about how horrible he is, which I agree with. I agreed with all of it. And then as soon as you got a chance to get on a fucking plane and haul your ass to Florida, you fucking did it.
Yep.
To meet with him And the kicker for me is that you did it without cameras. If you really wanted me to believe that you were going down there to meet with him to have this hard conversation and you were letting him know, look, we're not going to ease up on you just because you won the election, and we're going to be honest and truthful about what you're doing and what's going on in your White House, and this is just going to be something you're going to have to deal with. If you want me to truly believe that, those fucking cameras should have been rolling for 90 goddamn minutes. Yep. And the fact that you chose to go down there and now you want to come back and sit on your fucking morning show, Joe and Mika, and talk about how, well, this is what we talked about. And there's no witness. There's no video to prove it. I'm sorry. It's 2024. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, no shit.
Want video proof of it.
Well, no shit.
I don't believe you.
No shit. I'm sorry. You have a show. You have a show for a reason. Like you have a show for a reason. Yes. And I get, because like Joe came on and was like, hey, why wouldn't we go talk to Trump? Of course, we want to be able to like have access to him if we need it and whatever. Okay. I get the idea that you're going to have to cover him. And hopefully you're covering him in the way that you've told us you're going to cover him, which to your point is we're going to be hard, whatever. But the fact that your first interaction with him is to go and have a behind closed doors conversation with him is like, are you kidding me? You have a show for a reason. Don't come back here and tell me that you guys are like, oh yeah, I'm sure. Okay. I'll believe it when I see it, because I still haven't seen it. Granted, again, we're from Missouri, so we are very much members of the Show Me State. Yes. But I need to see. So again, we'll see what happens. I'm hopeful that they do continue to.
I mean, I haven't turned them on since the election.
You what?
I haven't had them on since the election. I watched them every morning. I would go to work and plug into it on Sirius and finish listening to their morning show in the morning when I got to work. And I didn't turn them on after the election because I was so devastated the day after, and I just couldn't listen to it and do it. And I needed to step away from it. And then this has now come out and I'm like, I feel as not almost, it would have been worse if it would have been Rachel that had done it, because I love Rachel Maddow.
Yes.
And I would have been so disappointed had she been the one that did it.
Yes.
And I understand that they work for a gigantic corporation and that they're worried about the censorship and that they're worried that they're going to get shut down, that he's going to, because what's his name's in charge of the FAA or
not only that, but they have come out and very clearly said, for media folks who are against, at this point, if Jon Stewart went missing tomorrow, it wouldn't surprise me. You know what I'm saying?
Like, behind it.
That's right. We would know who's behind it. And to your point, like now that there is an entire government that is designed, I'm sorry.
It's all about retribution. That's all it is. It's just
that's exactly right. The retribution will clearly come, and it will be swift and it'll be hard. And I have no doubt that they are going to suffer at least for the next several years. So
yeah.
So to your point, I get it. I'm scared too.
Yeah.
We have friends that we have talked like, I don't know that I want to come on the podcast, because what is that going to mean? Like if they know that we are very much anti whatever, then are we going to feel the wrath, especially, for our friends that like work in government positions and things like that. So I don't know. Who knows, y'all? Who knows? But we can at least hold hands.
That's right.
And, revel in the fact that at least those people that really put him in office, that really like drove home his win, are about to really find out. So
when they walk me to the gallows, I'm still going to have both middle fingers up saying, I didn't fucking vote for him.
That's right. Y'all did. So enjoy.
So do whatever
That's true. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we'll end it there. Thank you all for joining.
Okay.
Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Again, feel free to add comments if you want us to respond. I am setting up an email box. So if anybody wants to send like a specific topic that they want us, because I've had a lot of people that call me and are like, hey, you should call, you should talk about this, or you should, and I'm like, shit. And they always call me when I've had like a glass of wine and then I don't remember the next day. So I'm like, okay, I've got to set up an email box so that people can actually send comments to us and topics that they want to hear if they have questions. Also, I listened to the James Carville podcast.
Oh yeah. Which I called him James Carlin. On our first show, I meant Carville. Yeah, when I watched it back, I'm like, what a fucking dumbass. Yeah.
That's all right. We're old. But he talked real quiet and I couldn't hear him. So if you have any comments that are like, hey, I need, someone to speak up or whatever,
about our
please
volume.
let us know.
Yes. Yeah.
Please let us know. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. And again, we hope you guys are hanging on. We hope you guys are not like crying, and maybe you've stopped crying in the shower every day. But if you need something, let us know. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.